Welcome you all for today's sessions on fundamentals of Microsoft Defender, threat protection and response. So team, in today's digital first world, cyber threats are no longer an occasional incidents. They are constant and increasingly sophisticated. And organizations are not just expected to prevent attack, but also to detect, investigate, and respond to them quickly. So, Microsoft Defender plays a critical role in helping organizations. They can achieve this by providing integrated threat protection across endpoints, identities, emails, cloud application, and data. So, team, today's session is designed to build a strong foundation so you clearly understand how Defender works and how it supports a modern security operation approach. So, team, before we begin, let's just think about this. How long do you think it takes an attacker to exploit a compromised account once access it gain? Anyone, any idea how much time? You can respond me over chat. Any idea? How long it takes an attacker to exploit a compromised account? For example, your account is compromised. You are a user and your account is compromised, right? So what do you think? Uh, how long do you think it takes an attacker to exploit an compromised account? Any idea you have? Okay, no problem, team. So we are going to discuss this question later and we will try to find out the answer. So team, this session focus on the fundamental of Microsoft Defender, right? So with that foundation set, let's begin by looking at today's agenda and then we'll dive into core fundamental of Microsoft Defender. So team, my name is Komal Sharma. I'm the instructor of the session. I am Microsoft certified trainer and I am Microsoft 365 security and compliance platform solution architect and currently associated with Synergetic. I bring over 7 years of industry experience where I have worked extensively on enterprise level architecting, security strategy, and learning consultancy solution. My engagement have focused on helping organization design, implement, and adopt Microsoft security and compliance platform with clarity and confidence. So today's session combine both perspective, real world enterprise experience, and structured learning. So to help you understand Microsoft Defender, not just as a tool, but as a strategic solution, a strategic security solution. So team, this is the agenda of the session. So by the end of this session, you would be able to understand Microsoft Defender security landscape, what this Microsoft Defender is all about, how to fit into Microsoft Zero Trust and security ecosystem, right? We will be able to understand core threat protection concept, what is threat, alert, incident, and how Defender detect and correlate threats. You would be able to identify key Microsoft Defender component, endpoint, identity, email, cloud application, data protection, and how these components work together. You can understand the threat detection and response life cycle and how Defender helps security team respond faster and more effectively and build a readiness for advanced learning. So team, let's start. So let's first understand what is this Microsoft Defender is all about. So team, this is kind of a attack chain. Every organization, they can face two type of risk: internal risk and external threats. Let's first talk about external threats. Attackers who are not from your organization but from outside your organization, these attackers are flexible and they can use variety of attack techniques during an attack chain so that they can steal your data. Ransomware, right? So Microsoft offer different solution, different capabilities that provide a coverage across common attack chain. And these defender capability provide a advanced threat detection with a focus on high quality alerts. Back to the solution that Microsoft offer. Microsoft Defender XDR. This Microsoft Defender, it provides advanced threat detection with a focus on high quality alerts. Microsoft Defender XDR, it brings together all these capability, right, to streamline the analyst experience and minimize the need to change the interface. Microsoft Sentinel alerts, workflow, these all are integrated into Microsoft Defender XDR. Now let's understand each and every tools available under services available under Microsoft Defender. Let me pick my marker. Sorry. Okay. So let's first start with Microsoft Defender for Office 365. So team, let's say you are using one email service. Let's say Outlook, right? You all are must be aware with Outlook email services, right? We use Microsoft Teams, that is to attend the meeting. You must be using SharePoint in your organization, that is to manage your document, OneDrive, and you have other Microsoft 365 capability, all the 365 applications you can say. So Microsoft Defender for Office 365, as the name itself, Office 365, that is there to protect your organization Office 365 environment. All the services that comes under Office 365, email, your files which is there in OneDrive, Teams environment, right? All are protected. Then you have Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. It provides endpoint protection, right? Endpoint detection, endpoint response capability. For example, you are working and you are trying to access your organization data. Of course, you need a device, correct? Maybe you are using mobile phone to access your OneDrive data or to your emails, or sometime you use your phone to attend your meeting from Microsoft Teams application, correct? So you dependent on any device that may be a mobile device or a laptop. Now, let's say the device you are using that is not a healthy device. Okay. So an attacker can get a way to use your device to attack on your system. Correct. So you have Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. That is going to provide endpoint detection and response capability that cover all productivity workstation, server, mobile devices, right? Then coming to Defender for IoT and OT, right? That provide coverage for asset discovery and threat management for IoT devices and for attack on operational technology resources, right? Then you have, let's say you have your some physical processes like factory production, power generation, medical device functionality that all comes under IoT. Then you have Microsoft Defender for cloud application. So as when you are in virtual world, you are using many applications from your, that is in a virtual way. For example, you have cloud application, let's say your Teams application, your Office 365 application. There are different social media platform, right? Different like marketing related applications. You have finance applications. So these applications can be accessed from anywhere, any location, any device. These are called cloud application. So when you are working virtually, accessing these application in cloud, of course, there is a high chance that attacker can attack on these, application and try to get access to your data. Correct. So for that, we have Defender for cloud application, and that provide coverage for software as a service application from both an attack detection and a data exfiltration. And do you know there are 400 plus applications that are protected. Okay. Then you have Microsoft Entra ID protection, that is for identities. Identities means we users who are working in an organization. When you enter or join an organization, they create an identity for you. For example, my organization has created my identity Komal Sharma at the synergetic.com. Correct? Now, this is my virtual identity created so that I can access all the virtual resources. I can connect with my team. I can share my documents. I can share my information. I can receive emails. I can send the email. So, virtually, how my teams, my colleague can understand okay, this is Komal and I have to share my information with her. That's called identity. So every user's identity is created. But when you are in cloud, so there are high chances that identity can be compromised, especially for the user who are having some privileges, right? Like your admins. They have some extra privileges, access to the accounts, access to the admin center. Now to protect users and to protect these privileged users, we have Microsoft Entra ID protection that save user from any identity related risk or for any sign in related risk. If any attacker is trying to get access to your identity, it is going to block your account or maybe will ask user to set up a different password. Okay, and to go with multi-factor authentication just to prove that yes, you are an authorized user if there is any risk. Then for privileged users, we have privilege identity management. Okay. Now coming to Defender for identity. Defender for identity is a solution that is for your local identities. Okay. For example, you have your identities managed on-prem, like say Active Directory or Active Directory Federation Service. So Defender for Identity, it provides detection for threats for cloud-based, right? And for both on-premises based identity infrastructure. Then you have Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud provide additional capability for your cloud resources. Now, these all were the like what should I say, the functionality we have or the services we have for protecting our environment from external, like from attackers who are outside your organization boundary. But do you know organizations have threats from their insiders also? Now, who are insiders? Us too. Correct, your own employees. And for them, there is insider risk management. that is going to make sure that your employees are accessing the data the way you want. If there is any risk, any sensitivity, immediately it is going to trigger the alert. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone that how this external threats are managed and how this insider risk management in Microsoft 365 it helps minimize internal risk by enabling you to detect, investigate, and act on malicious activities in your organization. So, team, now let's move ahead. So, as the tool we have just discussed, we use these tools, and these tools start giving you signals, and they create the alerts, they create incident. Now, let's see how we can manage the incident and mitigate the incident. So, when you are using Microsoft Defender portal, you would be able to see all these options available, right? So team, let's start with incident. What is incident? First, when something happens, system create an alerts, right? And for example, any user who is trying to send some sensitive file outside the organization to any externals, it is immediately going to trigger the alert and admin will be notified. Let's say if any user, the same user is involved in any other suspicious activity, the device he is using is involved in that process, again, a device related alert will be triggered. Correct? Maybe there is some alert created related to the data, sensitive data he is trying to share. So when all the similar kind of alerts comes together, it create a story and that's called incident. Okay. So when something happens, it create an alert, and when all the alerts, similar kind of alerts comes together, it create an incident. Okay. For example, when any attacker is trying to attack to any user or any device or mailbox, Microsoft 365 services start getting alerts and sending these alerts to Defender, Microsoft 365 Defender. And Microsoft Defender's threat intelligence capability start creating incident. And all the related alerts comes together and make an incident. Got it? Now, when any incident is created, you need to investigate that. Okay? For example, why these alerts have triggered? What is their data behind this alert? What is the detail of this alert? Who is the user involved? What is the device used? Any mailbox, application, and you are trying to collect the evidence. Okay? This is how you are going to investigate the incident. Under incident, you have multiple alerts created. So you can use attack simulator where you can generate the incident, right? And you can see the alerts that is created and you can investigate that. Team, let me just take you to my Defender portal and we'll show you how we can investigate the alert. I have opened my browser. Let's go log into Defender portal. Log into security.microsoft.com. If you are a security administrator, you can log in to this account. This is your Microsoft Defender portal. And now here under investigation and response, you have incidents and alert created. Let me click on incident. I will see if there is some incident available. Yeah. These are some incident. If you click on it error, this is the related alert. Right now there is only one alert available. So team, let's just go to alerts, and these are some alerts created. Okay. For example, I would like to see the alert, add user as a site collection administrator. Let's click on it. Now here you can investigate this alert. Right now we are investigating alert. Okay, click on maximize. If you want to have a detail, this is the activity list, what has happened, when it was done, and what was the time. Here you have a alert detail, alert category, what is the service, when it was generated, what was the first activity, and last activity. There is no related evidence was found yet. And what is the policy that is created behind the scene? Add user as a site collection administrator. So this says that admin has set up a policy that if any user will be added as a site collection administrator, create an alert. Okay. So if someone is trying to do that, immediately the alert will be triggered and you can investigate that. If you want to manage the alert, click on manage, set the status whether it's new, resolved or in progress. Let's say we have started working on this alert, click on in progress. Who you are assigning this alert? Let's say I am assigning it to Alex. Alex will be investigating this alert. Classification. So you can classify it, let's say security testing. Any comment if you want, you can do so and click on save. Done. So my alert is managed and here you can see the status that it is right now in progress. Now, this was about alerts. Now let's go to incident. So now here in incident, I will just click on a incident. Let's say it's a full access mailbox permission alert. Now select. Here you can have a attack story. What has happened? Why this attack has happened? So this is the entire attack story. You can see maybe there are different other alerts available. Right now, there is only one alert in this current incident. Let's say you have kind of a alert story. Step number one is done. Then after that, something has happened. The third, fourth, and so on. So this is kind of a attack alert story. So you have a play button. You can play and you can run the play attack. You can run the attack story. In the middle, this is the attack graph. You can see who was involved in that attack. What was the device that was involved? Now, these are some tabs that will help you to manage this incident. You can click on alerts. You will see the related alerts available. And here I have one alert available. And here I can see the status is resolved for this alert. You can go to activity. What are the activity that has happened? So this activity was started from 18 December, and this is what the title was, and this is what the type, that was alert link, category, and where it was performed. And accordingly, all the activities are done. Let's click on asset. So here I can see one mailbox was involved. Okay. Similarly, if there is any user involved, any application or any device, that will be listed here. Let's say right now there is only one mailbox involved. You can click on it, have detail of it. And if you find something for your evidence, you can collect it from here. Any suspicious file, any link, let's go back. Coming to investigation, right now the investigation is not started and there is no evidence collected for this evidence, for this incident, sorry. Now let's move ahead. So team, let's say you are a part of security operation team and you receive an alert whenever Microsoft Defender detect any malicious or any suspicious artifact from an endpoint. So security operation team, they face challenges. Why? Because they are addressing the multitude of alerts that arise from the never ending flow of threats. So Microsoft Defender for endpoint, it include automated investigation and remediation capability. And that can help your security operation team address the threats or more efficiently and, effectively. Now, when you are managing this automation in the investigation, it says like how this investigation should be started. Before this slide, I have taken you to Defender and the investigation I was doing, that was a manual investigation. I was doing it. I was looking for the attack. I was looking for the device which is involved, the user what is involved. But if you want to make it a automation kind of a thing, you want to automate the investigation, you want to collect the detail of the investigation, right? If there is any evidence involved, all the things you can manage automatically. Now let's go to Action Center and Submission. So there is a unified Action Center here, this one, that brings together remediation across your Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Office 365. It defines a common language that is for all remediation actions and provide a unified investigation experience. So now, if you are in a security operation team, you have a single pane of glass experience where you can view and you can manage remediation action. Advanced hunting, let me just take you to my Defender, and here I will take you to, this is your action center that I was discussing about. There is no pending activity right now. Under hunting, there is advanced hunting. This advanced hunting is to hunt for any suspicious activity, right? So advanced hunting is like a query. You are doing a query based threat hunting that will let you explore up to 30 days of raw data. You can proactively inspect the event in your network, and the flexible access to your data. It enables constant hunting for both known and any potential threats. I hope it is clear to everyone. Advanced hunting. So by doing this advanced hunting, you can perform root cause analysis. Why something has happened, why this incident was triggered, right? So that you can take care for the next time and create custom detection. If something will happen, it is going to create the alert and will detect the same. Then team we have Entra ID sign in log. When you are hunting, you can use the query for Entra ID sign in log. You can see the users who have signed into the application, sign into the services. You can collect these logs via Microsoft Sentinel log, or you can get it with Microsoft Defender threat hunting, or you can use the table sign in log. Let me show you. Let's log in to Entra. Microsoft Entra is identity and access management platform. Let me complete the authentication. Okay, what happened? Okay, so I'm logging to Microsoft Entra Admin Center. And here, when I click on user, here I have sign in logs. When user has signed in, what was the date, what was the status, whether it was successful, it was interrupted, right? Now, let's say you want to monitor these sign in logs and you want to monitor if there is any suspicious sign in activity has done. So as these logs are managed in Entra, but these can be monitored in Defender because this is what it's a unified interface. It look for entire M365 environment for all your M365 services, whether data is there in Entra, data is there in Purview portal, data is there in any other Teams admin center. This is going to monitor that logs. And that log you can even use like you can view here by query, advanced query, threat hunting queries. Okay, so if any suspicious sign in logs is done, that is going to create an alert in Microsoft Defender. Here in Microsoft Defender portal, you get Microsoft Security Score. Microsoft Security Score is a measurement, you can say, right? You can see what is your security posture, right? If you get higher score, it means your security posture is very strong. It can be found in Microsoft Defender portal, and you can also follow security score recommendation. You can follow these recommendation to improve your score. For example, recommendation may ask you to set up the policy for identity protection. Enable MFA for all your users. Let me show you. I'm back in my security portal. Let's go to exposure management and secure score. So here is my security score. It's total 66.22. And can you see that? It is getting the score from my Entra 40.46. That is what identity, data, right? And my application. Okay, means from my Microsoft Purview portal, where I'm managing my data protection policies, an application that is getting from Defender for cloud application. Okay, Like here, I'm getting for application, I'm getting 72 and data, it is 77.78. You can see score in detail. Click on view Microsoft security score. You are in this page. You can see this total security score by category. This is what the point you have already achieved, the blue area, and the gray area means there is a still opportunity to improve it. And here at the right hand side, you can see the recommendation that will help you to improve your score. For example, it says ensure MFA is enabled for all users, right? In administrative role means not for all user, but at least for the user who have provided admin roles must be MFA must be enabled for them. If you do so, this is what the secure score, secure impact plus 2.79. This is what the score will be added to your overall security score. For every recommendation, this is not only limited to identity, but you have some recommendation related to your data and application too. You can click on view all and see all the recommendation in detail. These can be related to identity category, application category, right? Or data category. For example, you wanted to ensure that auto labeling data classification policies are set up. Let's click on it. It will pop up a page where you can have a detail of this recommendation, what this detail is all about, right? Plus, it will also help you to set up these steps. Let's say it is asking you to ensure that auto labeling data classification policies are set up. So here you can see how it can be managed, description and the implementation status. Click on implementation where you have the steps, how you can implement it. And this is what the prerequisite. It says that you must be having E5 license for implementing auto labeling data policy. If you want to learn more about it, just click on this link. It will take you to the detail page where you can have a good idea about these steps. So these recommendation just not only give you the recommendation, but also share you the steps how to perform that, how to complete that step, right? If you want to edit the status and action plan, you can edit it. Ensure that auto labeling data label policies are set up and used. Okay, so you can update the status and action plan for this recommendation action. Whether it is plan, you have to address it. Is it resolved through third party or resolved through any alternate mitigation? Just like you have explored this much recommendation action, this particular recommendation action, same way, whatever the recommendation you feel like, this is what is like can help your organization to improve the score, you can follow that. Many of the recommendation, the status it says it is already completed, right? For example, enable impersonated domain protection that is already enabled. You can click on history and see how this score was increasing and decreasing in past. Okay, see, can you see that? The date and time when any point was gained. Like here it says 1 point gained for only invited user should be automatically admitted to Teams meeting. Then this is 3.33 point regress for ensuring MFA is enabled for all user in administrative. Okay, so you can have a look the history, how these scores were added or removed from the overall score. And here you can have matrix and trend, right? How you are improving your organization score and how organization, like how Microsoft is improving, or any organization that is just like you or to your similar size, where they stands for in term of security score. Anyone, any query, any question so far? All good? It is clear to everyone, security score? Okay. So I will take it as a yes. And I feel like there is no doubt. Okay. So team, after security score, the next time you have about threat analytics. Threat analytics is a threat intelligence solution for expert Microsoft security researcher. It is basically designed to help security team so that they can work efficiently. They can face emerging threats such as any popular or new attack technique, any critical vulnerabilities, common attack surface. Correct. So this is how you can use threat analytics in threat intelligence solution. Then here under navigation, Microsoft Defender, you can get different reports. Reports related to email and collaboration, reports for cloud application, reports for identities. Let me take you to my security portal. Here in Defender, click on reports. You can have the reports for email and collaboration reports, cloud application, and for identities. Let's click on email and collaboration. I will select email and collaboration reports. So these are the reports you can have a look. If you want to have a detail about it, let's say threat protection status, click on view detail. Okay, and here you can have a look on your reports. Now in Microsoft Defender XDR, there is a setting where you can configure related Microsoft Defender product. There is a specific setting for Microsoft Defender product that will be discussed, and here you have email and notification configuration. For example, you are a security admin and you want to receive all the alert related notification. So that setup you can do here. Or let's say you are a security administrator, but you have your assistant and you want that all the notification will be sent to your assistant, not to you, because you want to concentrate on more, sensitive data or any other policies and all. But for notification, you want your assistant to receive all the emails notification. So that setup you can do here. How we can do that? Let's go to Microsoft Defender. Under System, click on Setting. Let's go to Microsoft Defender XDR. And here you have email notification. Let's click on Add Incident Notification Rule. Given the name, next, notification setting. What is the source? So the source is, let's say, your Defender for cloud application, Defender XDR. Then you have Let's say Microsoft Data Loss Prevention and Defender for Office 365. I have set up. Alert severity you want to consider is medium. Next, recipient. So Alex is my recipient. Added. So Alex is my assistant, let's say. Alex is going to receive all the email notification when any incident will be occurred. Next, done. And your new rule is created. Let's refresh. It may take time, I guess. So we'll come back and we'll see. The incident rule will be added here. Just wait for some time. I will come back to this part later. Okay. Now let's move ahead and we'll explore the next and very important solution in Microsoft Defender that's called Microsoft Defender for Office 365. So team Microsoft Defender for Office 365 is a cloud-based email filtering service or email protection service. Let me take you to that service directly in Defender. So here I am logging to Microsoft Defender. Let's go to identities. Oh, sorry, email and collaboration. So here you have Microsoft Defender for Office 365. This is called Defender for Office 365, right? This is going to protect your organization against any unknown malware and any viruses just by protecting zero-day protection, right? Or Microsoft has set up the zero trust policy. Anyone who is aware with zero trust policy, what does policy says? Anyone any idea about the zero trust policy? Anyone? So Microsoft zero trust policy says that do not trust anyone, right? So when you are not going to trust anyone, how you are going to work? So that says that do not trust anyone, but just verify. Verify who you are. So there are three functions, three elements in zero trust. Verify explicitly, right? And assume breach, okay? And then the like verify explicitly means you are going to log into any services. So you have to complete the authentication process and authorization process. Okay. For example, I'm working virtually and I have to access my account. Okay. So how you are going to prove who you are? By putting the correct ID and the password. Okay. So this says that if you are a correct user, is an authorized user, you are able to complete that authentication process properly. So you have verified. Always authenticate and authorize user based on all available points, data point, user identity, device health, and location. Then Microsoft's second principle that says least privilege account. Least privilege means give user as less permission as it is required. For example, all the users do not have any permission. They will be only provided the user ID and password, but they do not have any privileges assigned. Privilege means we are providing user admin roles. Let's say I need one user should be able to manage all my other user in the directory. How to add a user, assign a license. For that, you need identity protection administrator. There are other roles that will help users identity management. Let's say you have user administrator role that is going to help manage the users. Password administrator to manage the passwords. Okay. Then second principle, then the third principle that says assume breach. It operates under the assumption that a breach has already occurred or could occur. This mindset encourages any organization to implement robust security measures and continuously monitor for threats. Okay, so these three principles: verify explicitly, proving who you are, authentication and authorization, least privilege, providing admin roles, and make sure as per the role only permission are assigned. And the third is assume breach. Got it? Means anytime the breach can be done. So you can create the group of user, group of devices, and apply the group based policies. So team, now I am going to show you how we can set up the policy under email and collaboration. So I'm back in my Defender. Under email and collaboration, we have policy and rules. So there are two type of policy you will get: threat policy and alert policy. Let's click on threat policy. Now, let's say you are new to security. You do not know how to set up the policy like anti-phishing policy, anti-spam policy, safe attachment policy. But you want to make sure that your system is secure. So the very first thing you can do is to set up preset security policy. Okay. So these preset security policies are the policies like as a admin, as a security admin, you can set up as a foundation or the fundamental of your organization protection, right? So here when you will log in, when you will redirect to preset security policy, you will get built-in protection, standard protection, and strict protection. Okay. Now you have already inbuilt protection enabled in Microsoft Defender. Okay. Under inbuilt protection, you have these functionality already available. Got it? Like for example, here you have some additional machine learning models. You have visual indication in experience. You have built-in protection is enabled only for paid Microsoft Defender for Office 365 tenant. Okay, so you have built-in protection available. These preset policies are Microsoft managed and it is ready to use security policies and that automatically apply recommendation protection setting based on best practices. It help organization get a strong security without manually configuring dozen of individual policy. So you can set up these preset email and collaboration security policy. Now let's come to standard protection. Now standard protection that will help you for a balanced security. It is designed for most organization and that lower the risk of false positive. When you are setting up a standard protection, it includes safe link policy, safe attachment, anti-phishing, anti-malware, and it is automatically applied to all the users if no custom policy override it. For example, I'm going to manage protection setting. Here, you can enter the specific recipient. If you want, you can click on all recipient of the organization or make it limited to any group of users, teams, right? Or domain. So I want to enable this standard protection for my entire domain. I have entered my domain. Let's click on next. Now, okay, let's just understand first what is written here. So when you're going to apply the standard protection, it is going to apply EOP, that is Exchange Online Protection. Exchange is what? Exchange is for your email. So this first step, apply Exchange Online Protection, right? That is going to add the users group or domain, like I have added domain. It is going to include all inbound anti-spam policy, anti-malware, and anti-phishing. Correct? Now, next step. Here, it is going to apply Defender for Office 365 protection. It includes safe attachment and safe link. Here, I will just share you the link of preset security policy. Now, so this Defender for Office 365 protection, I want to apply to all my recipient. Next, impersonation protection, that identify all the email messages with sender information that have been crafted to resemble legitimate senders. Let's click on it. You can have the more detail about it and paste. Next, next, next. Just review your setting and confirm. Done. And the standard protection is applied. I recommend you all, when you are starting with Microsoft Defender, this is what the very first step you need to do. When you set up a standard protection, it automatically apply to all the users if any custom policy is not written yet. Okay. If you are setting up any custom policy, then that will be applied. Got it? Now, the next is strict protection. Strict protection is recommended for high risk users. Strict protection that is designed for admins, executives, finance, HR department, and this include stricter control. It include aggressive phishing detection. It include attachment detonation. It include URL rewriting, strong impersonation protection. And you can choose which user group set require strict protection. So I have disable it because I do not want to apply it because this is my trial environment. That's why I have not enabled it. But when you will open, you will see the same setting that was there in standard protection. So when you have preset policy enable, it takes precedence. And if you have any custom policy, it ignores for covered user. It is ignored. And preset is disable. Automatically custom policies are applied. So when you want custom policies to set up, Make sure you have disable these preset security policy. Anytime you can enable or disable this protection. Like I have disabled this standard protection. I can enable it as per my requirement. I hope it is clear to everyone what is preset security policies. If you want to create any custom policy, you need to go to threat policies, see the policies which is available like anti-phishing, anti-spam, anti-malware, safe attachment. These policies can be customized from here. You can include the user you wish, you can include the domain you wish, or the group you want. Here you have some rules you can set up: tenant allow or block list, email authentication setting, right? For example, there is any list of domain, any link you wanted to block it overall organization wide, all the URLs, files, right? IP addresses, domain and addresses can be added here. And that will be allowed or block, depend on the policy you are setting it up here. So team, when you are into that threat investigation and response tool, Microsoft Defender for Office 365 include best of class threat investigation and response tool that enable your organization security tool to understand and prevent malicious attack. You have Threat Tracker. Threat Tracker, it provides the latest intelligence on prevailing cybersecurity issue. For example, you can view information about the latest malware. You can take countermeasure before it becomes an actual threat to your organization. Then you have Threat Explorer. Threat Explorer, or you can also call it real time detection. It is a real time report that allow you to identify and analyze recent threats. Then you have Attack Simulator. Attack Simulator allow you to run realistic attack in your organization so that you can identify the vulnerabilities, vulnerable users. Simulation of current type of attacks are available here. So your end user, for them, it would be something like a real attack. So you are planning for the attack simulation so that you can train user about these type of attack that will actually happen in the future. Correct? It include different types of attack. Let's say spear phishing, credential harvest, and attachment attack, and password spray and brute force attack method. Let me show you. So here you have attack simulation training. Under attack simulation, you have different simulation already created. Let me show you one simulation I have already created for baseline credential harvest. So I have set up this simulation for some of my user, and this is what the detail of the simulation. One more is there. Let me see. So here I can also create a new one, or before that I will just show you quickly this credential harvest. Right now it says that only one user have received it successfully and there is no compromised user yet. If you want to view the user who was compromised in this simulation, you can look into the detail here. By running this simulation training, you will be having idea the users who are very like vulnerable users. They can be easily exposed towards the attack. Okay, I will quickly show you how we can set up one attack, create another simulation with new technique. So these are some techniques that you can use. Let's say credential harvest, malware attachment, link to attachment, link to malware, and so on. Let's say I want to try with credential harvest. Click on it. And here you have the steps that you can perform to set this simulation, right? So step number one, what happens? User open the email. Okay. User click on the link and user will be redirected to the page that feel likes that it is like a authenticated website. And the time user enter his email ID and password, immediately user is fixed. User identity is compromised. This is how this technique works. Now, if you have gone through the detail, you can click on next, enter the name of the simulation. Let's say this is the name I have given. Next. Now, when you are creating a simulation, you have to use one tactic. Like I'm using a Black Friday offer. Or you can also use a technique, let's say payment of package, that you feel like that user will feel that yes, this is a like kind of a correct email that is received. Next. Now here you have to add the user. Let's say I'm adding Mr. Pradeep. Okay, let me click on include all the user in my organization and all the users are listed here. Next. Do you want to exclude any users from the target user list? No. Next. Assign training for me or select training course for module itself. So let select training. Okay. Assign training for me. This would be better. Select a training due date, 7 days. Next. These are some templates. How it will be visible to the end user. You can um, have the preview of it. Remove logo. Next. There are two options. Three options. Do not deliver notification. Microsoft default notification that will be provided to the user. So team, what we are doing here, we are creating a simulation. Simulation is created to train our users that when an actual attack will happen, how users are going to face that. How many users who are vulnerable, they are exposed to these type of attack. That's what the training environment we are creating. Let's say if any user who is phished, user is compromised in the simulation, not in a real environment. So we are going to provide user a training, what this attack is all about, how he can prevent himself from this type of attack. That's what training we are preparing. Done? English language. It is asking Microsoft default positive reinforcement notification delivered during simulation. or after simulation and weekly. Next, do you want to launch it as soon as I am done? Yes. Or if you want to schedule it after some time, you can mention. Next, and submit. Done. Simulation is created. So now you have set up the simulation, and now users must have received email, and when they are trying to click on the link, and they will feel that yes, how the real attack happens, they can experience the same. So team, now let's move ahead, and we'll explore Defender for Identity. So team, as we discussed, Defender for Identity is a cloud solution that leverage your on-prem Active Directory. All these Active Directory signals that is going to identify, detect, and investigate advanced threat, compromise identity, malicious insider actions directed at your organization. Now team, after Defender for Identity, we have another solution for identity, that is for your cloud identities, Microsoft Entra ID Protection. Microsoft Entra Identity Protection is a service that enables your organization to view the security posture of any account. Organization, they can do it in three ways, right? They can either automate the detection and remediation, or they can investigate the risk and export the risk detection. Always remember that this Entra Identity Protection, it's a premium feature, and it is included in premium P2 license only. Here you can set up either user risk policy or sign in risk policy. Anyone who have already worked with Entra must be having idea that earlier in Entra, this Entra Identity Protection was a separate feature available, but now it is included under conditional access policy by Microsoft. Let me take you to Entra and will explain. Here I am login as a Entra administrator. So here you have Entra ID protection. Let's go to dashboard. Here under protection, you can see we have user risk policy and sign in risk policy. That is there under identity protection. Let's click on user risk. Under user risk, if any user is compromised, user identity is compromised, you can control that. Under control, you can either block the access. So when there is any user risk, user will be blocked. Or the better way is that let user handle the issue by automatically managing it. So you are going to allow user access the account, but user need to change his or her password. If he is able to change the password by password reset policy, means he is a authorized user. Okay. If there is an attacker, of course, he would not be able to reset the password. Okay. Second option is sign in risk policy. Under sign in risk means, let's say sign in is configured from any unknown location, from any unusual time. Let's say our office timing is generally 8 to 6. Okay, but let's say your login is done at the night 2 a.m. let's say. So it means it is not our user. This is not his normal sign in pattern. It's someone. else like it's an attacker who is trying to access his account. So this identity protection will consider it as a risky policy, as a risky activity, I mean. Okay. And immediately user access will be managed, can be controlled. And here you can set it up. It require multi-factor authentication. So if the sign in is done in any unusual timing, any unusual location, or any unhealthy devices, user will be asked for multi-factor authentication just to prove that he is a authorized user. And that's what you can automatically manage here. Click on done. So this was identity protection, and the same you can do with conditional access. Under conditional access, not just limited to control and like MFA or like password reset. There are other options you have to manage the identity related risk. Here, when you are going to click on access control, you can use other methods to grant user access, require authentication, require device to be marked as compliant, and so on. Not only limited to these grant access, but there are other conditions you can add. Like, for example, this risk may be related to any particular application, and why to apply it for the other application. So these application you can put it here as a condition. So there are other conditions, let's say related to user risk, insider, device platform, all can be managed here. So these are the two policies you can set up. You just need to remember when it is a sign-in risk policy, user will be asked for multi-factor. If it is user risk, it requires password change. These risks can also be managed via admin if you do not want to automate it. So admin will be notified and he is going to look into this issue and is going to take the action. Whether he is going to block the user activity or is going to take the action or reset the password for the user. User will be notified that hey, there is some risk and you need to set up the password. Or admin will be notified and is going to investigate the issue and will take the action. What action he can take? He can block the user. He can mark the activity as a risky activity or mark this activity as a safe. Let's say in my organization, we are trainers. Sometimes we have to work in an unusual shift because of our international clients. So we have to log into our services. So these policies cannot be applied to us on automatically. It may restrict us to work. Maybe we are traveling to any other country, right, for any training purpose. So again, so these type of conditions where the action can be taken from the administrator side. Administrator can discuss with that person, with that employee, this is what, why this activity is done, what is the reason. Then he can take the action and mark the activity as a safe activity. If not, can take the action, immediately block the user. Team, the next solution here we have in Defender, that is Defender for cloud application. So Defender for cloud application, where you have cloud access security broker. This this cloud application, cloud access security broker, this is what kind of a how this service is going to work between users and all the other cloud services they access. Let's say your organization has provided you an identity and there are different cloud applications, they allow you to bring your own ID concept. Now let's say employee can use his organization ID to log into that service. But is it really secure? Right? So organization can put control What are the application? User are allowed to bring his organization ID or where he is totally restricted. Got it? Now, let me take you to Defender for cloud application. Here, okay, this is Defender. You have cloud application. You can filter your application as per application category. You can use these filter. You can find out education, IT services, e-commerce, marketing. Let's say, let's go to marketing. Apply. These all are marketing related applications. So what are the applications that you want to, block for your users? But how to decide whether it is safe or not? So that you can decide via these risk score. So let's say I want to filter risk score where it is less than 4. Means these are risky application. So wherever the risk score is less means these are risky applications. I would like to block them. I will tag them and mark it as unsanctioned. Unsanctioned means for my users, these applications are marked as unsafe applications. Okay, I have marked them as a unsanctioned applications. So user would not be able to log into these applications. Similarly, the applications that are safe, you can mark them as a safe applications, sanction applications. So sanction means safe application, and if it is unsanctioned means these are not safe to carry your organization ID to log into that application. Okay, so here you can find out the application, you can filter them as per their risk score, filter them as a category and apply the tag. There are some policies that you can set up where you can monitor user access on these application. User activity can be monitored. Restrict user to take some actions like you can monitor the user session. For example, when any user is going to log in for any application, his activity will be monitored. Okay, so this is how the policies can be set up here. Now team, the next is Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, this is a service that is going to help organization to save their devices. There are, when employees are working from their home location or working virtually, many organizations they are either allowing user to bring their own own devices, personal devices, or providing organization owned devices. Whatever is the way, it is very important to make sure that these devices are totally safe to access organization data. So when any devices are, allowed for any user to access the data, these devices are onboarded. Okay. Onboarded devices provide and respond to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and start giving signals to Microsoft Defender Endpoint. There are managed devices that are joined or enrolled in Entra, and unmanaged devices are not joined in Entra. You have some domain joined devices that are synced to Entra ID using Entra Connect, means your on-prem devices. You have Defender for endpoint alerts, investigation, and responses that all are managed in Microsoft Defender XDR. Okay, so what you actually do? Your step start by onboarding the devices. Here only you have different options to onboard your devices. Select the type of device you want, select the operating system. Here you have different compatible operating system you can onboard: Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Android, or iOS. Once devices are onboarded, to manage them properly, you can make the device group. Assign a user an admin role to manage these devices. Let's say you have to, apply some policies. It would be easy for you to manage if a device group is already created. Okay. Now, once your device is onboarded, user have started using these devices, so you may be getting alerts for the same. For example, if any incident involve any devices, so you may need to perform device investigation. For that, you need to go device inventory. Under device inventory, whatever the devices are onboarded must be listed. Okay. Here you can investigate what is the risk level of the devices, exposure level, its platform, and you can give tag to these devices. Okay. You can also find it these devices. Now it is there under asset section. So all the devices will be visible in asset section. When you investigate any specific devices, you can see device detail. Okay, what type of device it is, what is the response action, and you have some tabs like overview, alert, timeline, security recommendation to make sure that devices are secure, the recommendation for the same, and cards for active alerts, logged on user, and security assessment. You can also perform action on these devices. Okay. For example, you need to see like how these live response sessions are working. Live response gives your security team access to these devices using a remote shell connection. Okay. When you are performing investigation, you need to collect some evidence. Correct. So, for example, any file that was involved, so you can investigate a file, you can keep it as your, evidence. Okay. Then you can investigate the user account who is involved in that activity. Investigate the IP address. What is the IP? Alert related to this IP in the organization. All can be managed here. Then, of course, you can configure the automation in your devices. These are some advanced features where you can enable these features to automatically resolve the alerts. So you as an admin or security operation team, you can set up the policies and automatically the alert will be resolved. Okay. Now, when you are configuring automatic investigation, these are some capability you get. Do you want to go with a full recommendation, like full remediation? It doesn't require any approval from admin, but there are other stages where admin intervention is required, admin approval is required. SEMI for core folders, any remediation or any non-temp folder. Or if doesn't require any automation, you can easily set it up. So team, that was all about Microsoft Defender XDR. I hope this session was helpful for you all. I tried my level best to give you understanding about this platform, different services available, and what is the functionality of these services. We have discussed about Microsoft Defender Security Score, how we can investigate the alert, incident, advanced hunting capability. We have explored Microsoft Defender for Office 365. We have discussed about Microsoft Defender for cloud application, Defender for identity protection, and Defender for endpoint. How these services works and help admins or security operation team to manage Microsoft 365 environment. So team, thank you so much for joining the session.